All right, everyone, welcome to our fourth quarter Women in Business webinar. My name is Bridget Dupre, and before we get started, you'll notice there's a chat box on your screen. So as you develop any questions throughout this webinar, please send them in and we will have time to answer those at the end. So today we are going to be talking about unwrapping success this holiday season and 12 guaranteed methods to engage prospects and deepen relationships with those existing clients. And I do have the absolute pleasure of introducing a woman who has not only helped thousands of clients in her own practice, but who's also coached hundreds of top financial advisors through Gradient. So Jamie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. That was an awesome introduction. So I'm excited to talk about this topic. This is a fun one, talking about really opportunities to engage with not just our clients, but to get introductions and to go through some of that, I think is fantastic. So I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to take control over from Bridget, so give me just a moment. Bridget, I think, let me go here. Sorry, technical difficulties. I think it's when I took control, it actually shared my screen, so I have to have mine pulled up. Are you seeing the right one, or do I need to swap it?
I see your presentation, yes.
From the slideshow, or do you see like the notes slide?
I see the notes slide.
Okay, let me swap it. Okay, now we should be good?
Perfect.
Okay, so as we talk about, opportunities to engage with people this holiday season, I would encourage everybody to think about, begin with the end in mind. What really is our goal with this event? What do we want to accomplish? Is this something that we want to create just for clients and have it be something that is really special and unique to them? Or do we want it to be something where they can bring a guest and you can get referrals and personal introductions and start to make connections with people? We also want to think about what's their takeaway from that event. Like, what makes this event something that's really memorable in their mind and makes you and your company and your event stand out maybe from everybody else or some other things that they have been to in the past. So let's talk about client events first. If you are going to do let's call it a holiday, a Christmas dinner, a holiday party, and this is true for any event, but if you're doing something that is for clients, it should be just for them. It should not be something where they feel like, oh, they invited me because they were looking to get an introduction. And although you may not mean for that to be the case, when we ask, hey, feel free to bring a friend, it sometimes feels like that, which is okay if that's what we're going for. But if this is truly a client event, then make it something that's for them. And I would encourage you to do the exact same event every year. Holiday times can be really busy for people, but if you start to do this, and those of you that already do this probably know, they know your event is something that they're going to have on their calendar. They look forward to it. It's something that they expect to do every year. Highlight your advocates at those events. We have several advisors, that have shared at events, at roundtables, on the discussion board, that highlighting the people that have sent you referrals over the years reminds those that haven't, oh gosh, I didn't really think about that, or I probably know somebody. And it's a great way to encourage people to do the same while acknowledging those that have taken the time to do so. So there's several ways that you can do that. We've had agents that have done the $1 Million Club, or we've had different, like name tags or something to identify them at the event. We've had people bring advocates on stage for an extra gift or a gift basket or a drawing, or just something, one, to say thank you and acknowledge that they did that, but two, remind the people that haven't, this is something that we really appreciate. This is also a great opportunity to showcase Gradient Gives Back. If you are doing it, Gradient Gives Back, or if you're thinking of it, this is a big emotional draw for people. And I think it was the summit last year that we had somebody on stage sharing how he got his clients involved, and they felt a big connection to Gradient Gives Back and to the families that they were helping. So you can, one, showcase your involvement from the previous year, the last family that was helped, or if it's something that you're going to do then moving forward, remind them, hey, this is something that we feel really strongly about. We want to encourage you to, make organizations that you're a part of aware. Maybe they have church groups or something that could benefit from knowing, hey, this is something that you can go nominate or apply for a family in need. So that's one of those things that's a great takeaway. It's something that's unique to you, and they're going to remember how they felt at your client event. We've all heard the saying of people may not remember what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. Little emotional things like that, and holidays are a great time to have those warm and fuzzies and remind us all really what it's about, which is helping people. If we are going to do a bring a friend event, then that can be a little bit different than, a client event, which is going to be solely focused on clients. Now we want to be clear that they can and they should bring a friend. Couple of things if you're going to do this. One, we want to be, I think we want to be sensitive to the fact that some people may feel like, think of, I'm just thinking of my own practice, some widows. Do they have a friend? Do they have another woman that they can bring? Is it going to be all couples and they feel like, oh gosh, I don't know who I should bring? It doesn't have to be one person. Usually, if we're doing an event like this, we're saying, hey, bring friends, bring your grandkids, bring your kids. Like, make it clear it's not like a +1 if that's the kind of event that you can support. You also you want to think about, well, how am I going to capture the info for all of those people? So we've had some great ideas over the years. Those of you that already do these probably have your own way of doing it. But if you haven't done this before and you're like, gosh, I want to make sure that as people are coming in, I know who's there, I know how to contact them after. Doing something like a drawing, a giveaway is a great way to capture info. Let's say you're going to draw for, I don't know, AirPods or an iPad or something really cool. You want it to be something that's impossible not to put your name in for. Like, oh, if it's a gift basket, maybe I'll bypass it. But if it's an iPad, I'm going to sign up for that. Plus, that's fun, right? It's something that's really exciting. Like, oh my gosh, we're going to draw for this tonight. And so then they have to write their name, their contact information, have them fill it out on a book or, whatever, drop it in a ticket in the bucket. But that's a great way that I've seen people capture info for folks that are coming to an event. Something that I think is really difficult for all of us is we feel like, okay, I've gathered these people together. I should be talking about myself and my practice and my credentials and my years in the business and how impressive all the services are that we offer. Resist the urge to do that, right? If you need to give like a 5-minute intro, yes, you should do that. If you want to wrap up and thank everybody for coming, yes, you should do that. But this is not the time where you take even 10, 15 minutes to talk about your company. This is the time to let others promote you. Your business, your event, your practice, your services should speak for themselves in what you're putting out there. And if you're doing it right and it's impressive and you're providing something memorable and we're doing something that's unique, the experience itself is probably enough where somebody at some point in the night is going to say, wow, my advisor, I've never been to anything like this. And your client is going to say, oh yeah, they're fantastic. They do this, 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 and this for me. So let somebody else promote you with this. This is your time just to make everybody feel welcome, build rapport, build relationships. It's not time for you to get on stage or at the front of the room and give a little pitch about your practice. The other thing that you can do here, when I say provide something memorable, you all probably have a million ideas on things that you can do to provide something memorable. There's all kinds of things that you could do, holiday themed, or little takeaways, custom ornaments, things like that. But think about how you could tie it into what is something unique about me or about my practice, or something that they're going to be thinking about then when they leave. One of the things that we are going to do at our holiday event this year is photos with Santa. So clients bring their kids, their grandkids. It's like a family affair. Those Santa photos will be loaded into their generational vault. We're also going to have kids bring and deliver and mail their letters to Santa. We're going to scan those cute little letters that these kiddos write to Santa, and we're going to scan those and put them in the vault. So when we think about how do we utilize some of the cool stuff that we do that is unique to us, how do we let them experience that without doing some self-promotion, those are the kinds of things that I'm talking about. So let's talk about some event ideas. We had an amazing back and forth group email going on internally here at Gradient a couple of, oh gosh, it's been probably a month or so ago now, where everybody was sharing ideas from some of our best producers on things that they have done in the past, which is why we took a next step and provided you with the guide on how to create a memorable event this holiday, give you some new ideas. But here are some things to think about. A wreath making class. This is simple. To me, this would be like for women probably, although I hate to say that. There's probably men that want to make wreaths. But this would be like your paint and sips or your wine tasting. Have them come together and make a wreath with real greenery. They'd come away with something beautiful, that's something unique that they're probably not going to do unless you were hosting something like this. I know several people have done holiday light tours where you rent maybe a bus, or some towns have trolleys, or something fun, have some snacks and things, and you tour around and go look at holiday lights. This is great, especially if you have older clientele. They can't probably get out as much as they used to, or they don't want to go walk a long ways. They having access to something like this where we chauffeur you around town and have snacks and great conversation, and we get to look at all the pretty Christmas lights. That's fun. Cookie decorating is a fun one. We have lots of people here locally. I'm sure you guys can all think of somebody that's posting on Instagram or Facebook with all their amazing concoctions that they do, like with sugar cookies and the decorating. I've got somebody here that's local that, I mean, it is just incredible what she puts together, and they're so fun, and their Facebook fills with, wow, that's amazing, would love to know how to do that. So we're probably not all going to come away with cookies that look like hers, but how fun, again, to do some kind of cookie decorating class. And this could be something that you incorporate into maybe a big event, which we're going to talk about later. Maybe it's just like a cookie decorating station, and it's not a class, but it's just sugar cookies and sprinkles and frosting and things that kids can come in and decorate even, or grandparents can do with their grandkids. The Christmas Carol karaoke night, I think about back to some of the events that we used to do for this. So with our church groups or other organizations, we would go and actually do Christmas caroling. That was so much fun, something that's probably not done a ton anymore. And if you are feeling overwhelmed with how the heck am I going to organize actually taking people around doing Christmas carols, do a karaoke night. That is lighthearted, it's fun, it gets everybody involved. I would say you have to be a pretty outgoing person here, because you may be the one that has to kick it off. So like, I'm never doing karaoke night with my clients because I would live in fear that nobody gets up there first and I would have to kick it off. But if this is your thing, this would be really fun. I've had some offices that actually do this internally with their staff. They have, I think Gradient actually sent karaoke machines out to people years ago, and I visited an office once and they had it set up in a side room, and they said actually every Christmas, or since we got it anyway, we have a big Christmas party here and we do Christmas Carol karaoke, and it's just so much fun. And then, of course, some other ideas like holiday wine and cheese, or you can get together and wrap gifts. You could even do a gift wrapping for charity, which, there's all kinds of charities that probably need stuff like that. So just throwing some ideas out there to get you brainstorming about what you want to do. Now, if you don't already have something planned, you might think, okay, I'm getting stressed out. It's the end of October. Can I get something like this set up that quickly? Obviously, something that you want to do on an annual basis, something that you want to do as your big event. Maybe if you're starting something new, this year's not the year to do it, but you could do something small. So we're going to give you some ideas for that. If we're going to do a large group, this is something where we don't necessarily have to worry about how many people RSVP'd. Do I have a head count? Am I going to have enough room? We want to involve the community. This is great for people that are really looking to get introductions, that want to engage maybe local business owners. This is a larger networking opportunity. So what are some things that we could do if this is something that we're like, yeah, I think I want to really enhance my involvement in the community. I want to make myself known. I want to get out there to more people. Renting a movie theater. Rent out a movie theater and show a classic holiday movie and just push this out to as many people as you can. If only 20 people show up, well, then only 20 people showed up. You had the movie theater. If 100 people show up, then great. You can also rent out an ice skating rink, host an ice skating party. Again, we don't worry about, well, only 20 people came. We made it available. Maybe it's going to be a come and go thing. You have it for 2 hours and you had 1 hour where there was a ton of people there and some others just came by. A fun run or walk with ugly Christmas sweaters. This was one of my favorite things that was shared, and we had a bunch of people say, oh yeah, we've done that. Oh yeah, I have another advisor that has done that. So you can really make this fun. You could do Christmas jammies. You could have a drawing or a winner for who had the ugliest Christmas sweater, but also ran the fun run or walk. So some really fun things that you could do there. We have a lot of, I think maybe this is a small town thing, I don't know, but we have a lot of private shopping nights like on Main Street. Not necessarily with local business owners, but more the businesses on Main Street will say, hey, we're going to do for men to come down and shop for their wives. This is your night. Businesses are going to stay open late, and maybe the women have come through and they call it their Christmas wish list. I'm thinking of a jewelry store here locally that lets women come in and make note of some of their favorite items, and then the local retailers stay open for men to come shop. You could do something similar. You could reach out to one local retailer, you could reach out to multiple, have a private shopping night. You can be there and be providing gift wrappings, maybe some snacks, some swag bags. You could have really a setup at one place or multiple places depending on your area. I think that could be a great idea. And then caroling at local senior centers. Our local senior centers love to have people come in, to have groups that want to come in and entertain folks. If anybody has listened to the Luminary series, Brad Cooper has actually talked about how he's gotten in with assisted living facilities, which would be independent living. We're not talking about like long-term care facilities here, but he started by saying, hey, what kind of entertainment do you need? What kind of things are you hosting that maybe I could help with? This would be kind of two birds with one stone here, right? You could go into a local senior center, say, we would love for our group to come in. We're going to bring a hay rack ride. We're going to have some snacks. We're going to walk through the facility. We're going to be singing Christmas carols. Not only is that fun for your clients, but it's also a potential in for you at a facility. So think outside the box here a little bit. If you're like, okay, I love those ideas, but no way I'm getting that set up for this year, Then think about some just open house ideas. One of the things that a couple of our producers in Colorado do, and they share at a lot of our events, is simple holiday pies. They have holiday pies where they put the wrapper with their logo on it, and their clients come in and pick them up in the office. And he said at the last one we were at, this is Jonathan and Haley Sanders that have shared this. I think Jonathan shared, I can barely get out of the vehicle unloading the pies and people are there. They're so excited to pick up these pies. And then they take the pies to their Thanksgiving dinner or to their Christmas dinner or their party with families, and it's got your wrapping, your logo, everything is on it. So that would be something that would be simple and easy. You could also maybe take one day, set up a little photo booth in your office somewhere, depends on your setup here. But you could do professional Santa photos. We rented a Santa. You'll laugh because we had, Emma and I have been laughing because we got Santa Dan from Craigslist. So wish us luck. I hope everything turns out fine. But if you're in a bigger area, you probably have a ton of options for a Santa, or maybe you even have, somebody in your office that you can have dress up as Santa. Or it can just be a fun photo booth. You can rent photo booths pretty inexpensively, have it be Christmas themed, let people come in, take a funny photo, maybe have some snacks. You could do a toy drive drop off. So yours is the location where you're accumulating toys for tots, and every time somebody comes in, have little snacks there. You could turn your office into a winter wonderland, which to me seems super overwhelming, but if you're creative and you like decorating, how fun would that be? Or it could be something as simple as having a little mailbox on your reception area or something, and kids can come in and drop off or mail their letters to Santa. This goes back to thinking about, okay, how can I tie in some of our services? Take those letters or take the photos, whatever is happening there in your office, and scan those in. Those are great memories for them. Upload those to their vault. They will love things like that. Here's the number one, voted number one, without a doubt, internally, as we were all sharing ideas, we all loved this. So you'll have to tell me at some point, shoot me an email or give me a call later and let me know if you agree. But this is something that an advisor shared that he has done for years. They partnered with a local tree farm and they bought their trees in bulk. So the cost to them, I don't remember what it was that he shared. And he said, obviously those have gone up a little over the years, but if you buy them in bulk, they're obviously way less expensive than if you were going to go to a local tree farm, cut one down, and maybe it's $100, maybe they're a fraction of that price. But he has clients then come pick up their tree, or they can come pick out a tree and have it delivered to somebody else. Here's a little spin on it. He said a lot of people didn't want to feel like they were, gosh, I don't need you to buy my Christmas tree. I feel like that's a handout. So he would say, hey, bring a toy in for charity or make a donation to Gradient Gives Back if you want to, in exchange for the tree. People loved getting their live trees, having this as an event, being able to incorporate some kind of, charitable gift that where they felt like they were giving back. You can do a lot of fun things with this. He actually turned it into a PR opportunity. After the first few years that they had done this, then they would have local news stations there and interviewing people and what an incredible thing you're doing and who are you having your tree delivered to, or, it's just such a cool thing that's kind of a, in a world of artificial trees and, we all kind of take the easy way out and nobody goes to a tree farm anymore. This is something that he said was without a doubt, like people would start messaging him in September, October, hey, what day are we doing the tree pickups? And you're still going to do this again this year, right? Think about again how you could make this even something bigger. A live reindeer for photo ops was an idea that was shared. I actually looked into this. You can rent live reindeer actually probably wherever you are. So you can rent them by the hour. You can bring in Santa. The bigger it is, the more fun it is, the more people are going to come, they're going to want to be a part of that. They're going to bring their grandkids in. News stations love to pick up feel good stories like this. So really great opportunity. We loved this idea. So if anybody does this, please let us know. We can't wait to hear what you thought about it. Here's a couple of other ideas. If you're thinking, oh, that all sounds so cool, but I don't have time to get an event scheduled for this year, it doesn't have to be an event. Think about using social media. You could be posting an ugly Christmas sweater contest. So people have to upload their pictures and vote for the favorite. In our family, and several of my friends do this as well, but they'll carve pumpkins, or they'll decorate Christmas cookies, and the family members will, we won't say whose is whose, and we'll post it out there and people have to vote. It's amazing the silly stuff that people like to get involved in, but that blows up every year. And if we forget to say, like, tally the votes and say who won, then people are posting, they're like, who won, who won, who won? So having an ugly Christmas sweater contest and pictures would be easy. You could do a 12 days of Christmas giveaway. We did this last year, and we highlighted local businesses every day for 12 days. People have to comment, they have to share, they have to tag people, all ways that helps kind of blow up your social media and give you some presence, but it's also fun for people. They couldn't wait to see what the next day was going to be for that giveaway, and we just kept it going for 12 days. So something that was really fun there. You could do a holiday charity drive. Just promote online, like, here's how much we have taken in, or here's where we are with this goal, or here's how many families we've had adopted out, anything like that. A kids coloring contest, we've seen those for years. You can post the ones that are being dropped off at your office, have them, the kids coloring contest, have them dropped off or have them emailed. You can post, they can vote, all ways to really get involved with social media for that. And then, of course, we've got to talk about holiday gifting ideas. And this is the final idea. So if you're like, okay, I'm gonna do an event, maybe I'll do an open house, I'll incorporate holiday pies, I like some of these social media ideas, but I also wanna make sure that my clients have some kind of gift from me. I think it's wise to maybe separate out your A clients, your B clients, your C clients, and maybe the A clients get something different. Maybe you are doing an experience of some sort for your top clients. Maybe it's tickets to an event, or it's a spa day or something, but gift experiences to top clients is a great one. That goes against some of the things that we've been taught about gifting, right? Which is make sure it's something that they're seeing, that it's in front of them. You got to think who your audience is, right? So if they're your top clients, they're already with you. They know you. They don't need something branded to you to remind them of you every day, but they won't forget probably an experience that you gave them. You could also do, maybe for all clients, then something smaller. Do branded ornaments to your company. You could do personalized holiday gifts to them. Maybe it's something that you take 20 people and you do something that's very customized and personalized to something that they like. You could set up a secret Santa exchange, which would be fun. Or you can always just go back to the spirit of the holiday, which a lot of people really they don't want more stuff. I don't need more things. I feel guilty because you're gifting me these things, and I really want to give back to people that are in need. Think about charitable organizations that they really care about, or something local, and you can make donations even in their name to causes that they care about. So my hope is that this was at least something to kind of get you brainstorming about what you'd like to do within your own practice, that you took something away from this that is going to be helpful as you move forward. And as always, if you have questions, or you want to just kind of talk through this, discuss this, give your marketer a call. we're always happy to share other ideas that we've heard about. Certainly this wasn't all inclusive. We do have the holiday experience guide that's available that we can send to you. So you can always email us for that too if you want kind of a recap of the items that we talked about here. And hope you found it helpful, and we'll see everybody next time.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jamie. And was there any questions before you had finished up here?
I don't see anything in the chat. You can always put something in the chat, or you can type in your question. If you can't or don't want to come off of mute, that's an option. I don't see anything yet. I must have just been so thorough. No one can think of a single question.
All right. Well, if anything else comes up, like Jamie said, you can contact your marketer, and otherwise, thank you so much for sharing all these ideas, Jamie. These are great.
Of course. Okay, I'm starting to see a couple come in. So yes, the Toys for Tots. I hope somebody heard me say that, but that's a great one. Always something that's easy to incorporate. And you guys may have things locally that you know of, like we do angel trees here where you can adopt families. So all kinds of things that you can get involved in, have your clients get involved in, maybe even have an angel tree in your office where people come pull it off the tag off the tree and they go adopt families. If they adopt a family, they could always bring gifts back in then to your office. Maybe you do the gift wrapping. So there's all kinds of things that you can really think outside the box, things that I probably haven't thought of, we haven't thought of, but we always like to keep the discussions going. So if you think of something later and you're like, oh, they didn't talk about this, and I really loved this idea that I heard, or we've done this before, put them in the discussions board. That discussions board that's in the portal, there's several different categories. So there is a marketing category. There's also a women in business category. So if you guys have ideas or you want to keep this conversation going, I encourage you to go out there and let's keep sharing ideas. It's how we all get better. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.